Okay, we're going to first stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, I'm used to it. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Then Tony will say a prayer.
I thank thee, Lord, as a volunteer for the chance to serve another year and to give of myself in some small way to those not blessed as I each day. My thanks for health in mind and soul to aid me ever toward my goal. For eyes to see the good in all, a hand to extend before a fall. For legs to go where the need is great, learning to love, forgetting to hate. For ears to hear and heart to care, when someone's cross is hard to bear. A smile to show my affection true, with energy aplenty, and tasks to do. And all I ask, dear Lord, if I may, is to serve you better day by day. Amen.
Thank you. And everybody's seated, but I want you to we're gonna take a moment of silence for the residents impacted by hatred. Just by hatred. So let's just take a moment to pray for those people. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. We need to get them to close the door. He comes back in here. Okay, so I want to welcome everyone who's here today. And there are some people that I do not know. And we're going to get to know everyone today. Usually we have a guest speaker. But because we had our great Citizen Legion of Honor luncheon, did everyone enjoy the luncheon? Thank you. So because we had that luncheon, I wanted to invite a lot of people here, and I want to discuss the legacy of your clubs. We want to know who your clubs are, what your mission statement is, what your plans are when you meet. We want to be able to, as the President's Club, offer some of the things that we talked about or we showed on screen at the luncheon. Let me see if I can pull it up. Me and my technology. Okay. So it's kind of crooked. Can't make it any better. But one of the things, or several of the items that we had on our screen there were the benefits of membership for the President's Club. So, and we do want to be beneficial to all of the clubs. This club has been around since before 1951. What's wrong?
Oh, you say it's on the side where it says since 53.
On there?
On that sign right there.
Oh, yeah, since 1953. Okay, let's see. Since 1953, but it really started before then. But we didn't start doing the Citizen Legion of Honor until 53.
37 sounds good.
Yeah, 1937 or something like that. And so it was started by a group of men in the community who were volunteers in the community and were affiliated with different organizations. And they wanted to get together and make sure that they supported each other and helped each other grow. And we're at a stage now in most of the organizations that I see that we need to generate new people, younger people, and to continue the legacy of that particular club. Because every club is important. Everyone feels a need, fulfills a need that our government can't, other agencies can't, but your group has found a need that you want and people that you want to serve. And we want you to continue doing positive things in the community. And so we want to be able to help you in that regard. So the benefits of the President Club membership is servant leadership promotion, which we do. We have our annual breakfast. It's this year, it is the Community Volunteer Breakfast, May 9th at the Presidential Banquet Center. It's a really nice breakfast. It's a big deal. It's every organization choosing one or two people from their organization that they want to highlight as a volunteer of the year. That inspires people to do their best, to work their best throughout the year so that they can be chosen to be recognized at this breakfast. And it's at 7 o'clock in the morning. And it's usually full. Who's been there before? Okay. Yeah, but it's tradition. So we won't break tradition. So that's one way that we help as far as promoting and recognizing people in your particular organization. The other is the community recognition and support. This is part of that, networking and information sharing. So when presidents come here or they send people from their organization, this is the networking. And most of the time we have a very interesting speaker. And these speakers can be brought to your own organizations as well. And so we try to bring someone here, and Billy can attest to it. It's always interesting, isn't it? Always. And our field trips are fun and interesting. The last field trip we had was to the Dayton Art Institute. And what was unique about that was we saw the Japanese exhibit, this paper exhibit. It was extraordinary what they do with this paper. And then we saw the NAACP had an exhibit there too. And it was absolutely extraordinary. I don't know of any NAACP that has done an art exhibit. No. And it was just absolutely incredible. Everyone enjoyed it. We've been to the Paul Laurence Dunbar House. We had lunch there. We toured the house, found out more information about it. There's so many places that we need to go and visit in our own community. And you'll find that it is really, really fun. We had a speaker who talked to us about the Fisher House, because we do the Bob Chow's golf outing. And we did not know how important, how expensive those houses are, and how important they are to veterans and veterans' families. it just, when you come to these meetings, you learn so much more about the meaning and the purpose of the organizations that exist and why we support them and why we need to support each other. So the other is volunteer engagement. And, you know, we need to get more people involved in our organizations. So we're gonna talk today about trying to figure out how to get more volunteer engagement in our particular organizations. Fundraising opportunities, we need to support each other in our fundraising. Kathy attended the Twin Tig fundraiser, ate a $600 cake.
Not all by myself.
But at first she was like $600. And then a few days later, she's like, boy, that cake sure was worth that $600, you know, and we were going up against Bernice and her family. She's forgiven us. But it was an auction, a cake auction. So it was all in fun. Then the membership growth, that's something that we're gonna expound upon again. Then local, national, and international impact that some of our organizations have, like Civitan is an international organization, and we'll learn about other organizations that are international. Rotary, you know, is an international organization. Lions, and so longevity and tradition. That's what we want to focus on. How can we keep these organizations going? And yes, Joyce, tradition is tradition. Sometimes we have to meet at 7 o'clock. But there are other organizations that meet early too. So anyway, that's what we're gonna do today. We're all going to be guest speakers today. So I want to welcome our newest member of the President's Club, the Air and Space Forces Association. So David Babcock. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So David, you get to talk first.
Oh, what do you mean?
I want you to come up and tell us about your organization and then kind of answer the questions that are on here. And we're going to take notes and we're going to have a little powwow when you're done. Okay,
Thank you, Veronica.
you're welcome.
Maybe I'm a little taller, so I can move this up. My voice is a little bit out because of the cold, but we'll get there. So anyway, the Air and Space Forces Association is dedicated, you know, if you're a military member, a civilian member, you provide goods or services, you know, to our military, or you're just a patriot who believes in a strong aerospace force to serve as the foundation of a strong defense, that's what we need. And that doesn't happen by itself. It just can't. It requires a multi-level effort from a lot of different groups and a lot of different forums and venues. But what we're here to do, our mission, is to advocate, educate, and support the United States Air Force. Advocating for the capabilities that it needs and the resources that it needs to carry out its mission as part of the foundation of defense. If you don't control the air, you don't control anything. From an education standpoint, it's educating not only the general public, and that could be people from military leaders, civilian leaders, members of the general public, academia, places like that, about the importance of aerospace power. And then providing support to the veterans and the military and the civilians that serve as part of our Air and Space Forces. So that's pretty much what our mission is. Here in the greater Dayton area, I mean, it's a little bit like church. You know, when I say, how many members do you have? You know, the church register says I have so many people. And we have on our rolls for the Wright Memorial Chapter, because that's our chapter here in the greater Miami Valley. We have a little over 2,000. How many people are active? 35. So, I mean, that's just, I mean, you can say number of members, oh, I've got 2,000 people. No, not really. That's what's there. We meet on the second Wednesday of most months. November, December, we're not going to, because it's the holiday season. We tend not to do that. But we meet in the Beaver Creek area because it's closer to the base, and at the Pentagon Towers. And we meet at 11:30 there at Pentagon Towers. I typically bring in a guest speaker, whether it be a military person, a community leader. Again, part of that whole advocate, educate, support. You know, it could be a support group like Fisher House. If you had Chris Stanley here before.
Yes, we have.
You know, Chris is voting Habitat for Humanity. There's a program within that called Veterans Bill. You know, focuses on bringing houses or providing houses to veterans within that Habitat for Humanity enclave. So we've done that, but we're having wounded warriors. But at the same time, we bring in senior leaders from the base to talk about problems, issues, challenges, and how we as a community can help in providing that aerospace power. Annual events, well, we have our monthly luncheons from January through October. We have a couple other major events. If you are an AFA Wright Memorial Chapter sponsor, we have the Dayton Air Show. We provide chalets out there and free food, free drink to watch the air show. And people can bring others to help, and that's part of that advocacy role of air power. We also have the Air Force Ball, which is typically in September because the birthday of the Air Force is the 18th of September. So we tend to have the ball around that period of time. But at the same time, we also have Teacher of the Year programs. We give scholarships out to mostly STEM related scholarships because that's our need in the Air Force where you're technologically critical. We have the STEM scholarships that go out to not only the college students at the ROTC level, but at the junior ROTC level, as well as even at the grade school level, like the Dayton Regional STEM Center. Dayton's, what's it called? Yeah, I think it's Dayton Regional STEM School. So we give scholarships out to do that. And we also, like I said, go out to the VA and the Dayton VA Medical Center and things like that and provide support there. And some of those annual events include their Christmas parties, their picnics and things like that. And we provide support to them, both as far as resources and manpower resources, as well as financially as well. So how are you recruiting new members? It's a challenge. I'm like everybody else in this room. It's hard. I mean, I can go out to the base or I can come out to the community and talk about that, but everybody's busy. We just are. No, sorry, Dave, I don't have the time to, join your organization and your organization and your organization and your. It's hard. But we do try and get the word out and have them do that. Would your club like to participate in the meeting training about growth? Yeah, we could do that. I have a VP for leadership that she's awesome. We could do it through that way. We have the Doolittle Leadership Center nationally that has a lot of great ideas and concepts and providing leadership to nonprofit organizations like most of ours are, and press on that way. So that's a little bit about AFA. I think now that I've said that, how many people can spell AFA? All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you very much. So you all put on the air show by yourselves?
No, ma'am.
You
The air show is
participate.
put on by Kroger and by, it used to be veterans, and now it's.
Yeah.
What we do is we have 3 chalets
Oh,
that are close to the airport, and then people can come into those,
Okay,
and then it's
I
a
got
little bit different than sitting out in the general public.
yeah,
But it's a special place to advocate for the Air Force and meet with senior leaders, meet with Air Force people.
okay,
And then, like, excuse me, like a Derek's group or to sponsor. You can
okay.
bring other people that may not know as much about the Air Force into the chalets,
Uh-huh.
and then talk to different senior leaders and things like that about what's going on in the Air Force, what the needs are, issues are. Things like that.
Okay, terrific. Okay. The lady in the black glasses.
Yes.
Yes, come on up.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who you are.
Well, I'll introduce myself. I'm
Okay.
Becca Perales.
Okay, Becca, okay.
Yeah.
See, I know all these names from the event,
Right.
but now I'm putting a face to the
Well,
name.
hello.
Well, hello, nice to meet you, Becca.
It's nice
Okay.
to meet you.
And what organization are you with?
Well, it's the one I'm going to talk about today, because I'm with several, but the one that I'm going to talk about is the Beaver Creek Women's League.
Okay.
Okay, good. I
Okay.
can do that. And I had all I was going to talk out of my head. Oh, well, that sounds awful, doesn't it? But I'm going to go by your bullets. I think that's really great. Our Beaver Creek Women's League is really there for empowering women and enriching our Beaver Creek community. Although we welcome women from all the areas around us as well. And we have what it started out in 1969, we had a need for a traffic light next to the high school. That was a dangerous intersection for our kids that were going to high school. And this group of women got together and got that traffic light installed. And they said, well, let's keep going. And so we have been going strong since 1969. We have 140 members of the Beaver Creek and the surrounding communities that come in. And we meet on Wednesdays, at the first Wednesday of every month at lunchtime. And you're asking how we get new members? Well, we used to meet from 9:30 to 11:30 every first Wednesday of every month. Well, guess who can come then? No working women.
Right.
You know, it just made it too difficult. And we have an aging population. And I think that's what we're all finding, is that the people that are into clubs and want to be part of them just seem to be older. So we thought, let's toss this up and change it a bit. And so now we meet, and ladies are able to, and we have women and men. Our programs director is a man. We are allowing people to buy lunches through Cherry House Cafe, and they're delivered there so that you can eat, starting at 11:30 to 1 o'clock. And we normally have a speaker, and we go all the way from having speakers about things like artificial intelligence, things that you're seeing in the news that are important for people to get educated on, to having people talk about gardening. We have our Chamber of Commerce coming in to talk to us about what things are happening in the Beaver Creek area with the new businesses that are coming in, because that's a changing landscape, as we all know, with businesses coming and going after COVID. And then we do lunch and learns, and our lunch and learns always cause a bit of some friction and some craziness around those, because like this Saturday, we're going to do gun safety. So we'll meet at Midwest Shooting, and we will learn about how to be safe with guns. And then next month, we'll decorate cookies for the holidays. So you see, it's a diverse group, but it's a very educated, interested group of women that get together, and the men that come along as well. But our fundraisers are scholarships for the women, at Beaver Creek High School, or homeschooled through Beaver Creek High School. We also do women in transition. So women who have either stopped their education because they raised a family, because they had a break to take care of an elderly parent, because they were in a domestic violence situation and they needed to have a break, but now they need to skill up. So we also give scholarships to them, and then we give community grants. So we have a whole list of folks that we've given to Parks and Recreation, the Beaver Creek Fire and Department Auxiliary, Feed the Creek, the Fisher Nightingale House is a big one, Greene County Library, Owens Place, and if you don't know what that is, it's a fully accessible playground in Rotary Park in Beaver Creek that kids that are different abilities can come and be, can come and move around that. And also, my mother at 92 could go everywhere in that park with her grandkids because there were no barriers. So it's a neat spot. So we give the grants to the various nonprofits in our community. And we're going to go visit Woodland Cemetery and do a tour through there in April. And we just do lots of interesting educational things. And we also put on the Candidates and Issues Forum for the Beaver Creek area. And we had about 160 people show up at the Beaver Creek Golf Club to listen and get educated about what's going to be on the ballot. And we also had some issue 1 and issue 2 people. There's 9 issues on the ballot. And so that got lively.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yes, as it did. But so then our big fundraising event is our scholarship luncheon in the spring. And this year it's called Diamonds Are Forever. And so we do all sorts of things around that theme. And it's a lively, fun organization. And it's growing now that we've moved the time from the morning to that lunchtime.
Okay.
So it's a good way to attract younger members when they can get there and it's not the evening or early morning. Early morning, whoever.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Becca.
welcome.
You, sir, I haven't met you yet. Uh-huh.
Randy Keithley, I'm the Secretary Treasurer of the Dayton Lions Club. I've been president. Our current president had another obligation today, so she sent me.
Well, great, thank you.
The Lions International was formed in 1917. Our Dayton Club was formed in 1920 and started by a guy named Melvin Jones from Chicago. He was a salesman, I believe it was insurance. He started this whole thing. There's now about 48,000 clubs in about 200 countries. We're not that big here locally. We have only 20 members now. We had a peak at about 120 in the 80s, I'd say, and dropped down obviously like most service clubs. And we all know what it is. Dayton corporate ownership, where is it of the large club or the large businesses? Not in Dayton anymore. Reynolds and Reynolds maybe is one, but there aren't too many. The banks that used to be very good, they required people to join the clubs. They supported them, paid their dues, and there's not really many local banks of size that are here. They're all branches. So anyway, our functions primarily motto we use is we serve. Our club concentrates on site, which is one of the major things Lions do. And we have for many years provided eyeglasses for those needs. Primarily, we try to help the church. And Steve Powell was an optometrist for years. He retired, but he would do all the exams for free and then, charge a nominal bit, which we pay for the glasses. And I'd say over the years, we do 50, 60 a year. I was the site chairman for many years, and sometimes probably did 100 a year. And then the other thing we do is collect eyeglasses, and we probably have 20 to 25 places where people can drop them off. If we get them, we eventually have been for the past number of years taken to Ohio State School of Optometry there at Ohio State. And what they do is, put them all together with the prescriptions and then the, usually the students during the summer will visit, a lot of times a foreign country. They've got them all marked and everything, and they'll be there for a week or two and pass those glasses out. They'll do it in the United States also, but they do thousands of people. So that's one of the major things we do. Our major function is a Christmas party, and we do that for children primarily from Dayton Public Schools with special needs. One of our members, Connie Smith, is kind of in charge of that. So she knows which kids are good prospects and bring. And so we have a Christmas party every year, presidential. Kids put a list of what they might want, a couple items, usually $50. And then we'll go out and buy them, wrap them, and the kids come and Santa will give them out. And it's, gets you into doing early December, really puts you in the Christmas spirit, and to bring a tear to your eye usually, because these kids are something, and they really enjoy what they're doing. We give them hamburgers and cupcakes and like that. I used to do buffets, but they don't like that.
Yeah.
Then recently, Reynolds and Reynolds, which as I mentioned is a big company, they decided they wanted to do something charitable, and looked at a number of charities, and they called me and said, what do you do? And I said, well, we collect eyeglasses. We've got these Lions International boxes. You can put them wherever, and people put them in and you give them to us. So they decided to do that. I gave them like 10 boxes, and they've got, places all over the country, and they're doing it as a corporate deal.
That's nice.
So we'll see how many eyeglasses we get, but I thought that's pretty good. And then the other thing that we're proud of is that our club was instrumental in creating the Lions Eye Bank of West Central Ohio. That's here down in Kettering. And that started by us just going to all the different clubs and asking for money. And, they contributed. And then we worked with a company in Baltimore, a site and did both sight and blood. And we worked with them for a number of years, and it grew, and we kept moving, and now we're down off Dixie, have our own building, nice 2-story, and it's like $1 million building. And there is when they get the eye part that you can use for sight, and they do. I think they did like 2,000 last year. Corneas that they go collect, and they'll either put them as research, or they'll send them as, this is a good cornea, and then they'll send it to somebody that's waiting for a cornea. It's not as bad as a heart, but you got to keep it, and you can't keep it too long, so it's got to be done. They're there 24 hours a day if they get a call. And the local hospitals and so on, a while back they created I don't know if it's a law, but they notified them that they should notify during an accident, divorce, and so on. And they would notify us, and then we would go out and
Get the.
now, this isn't very nice, but our prime season is motorcycles.
Oh my God.
So, but it's true.
Yeah.
And anyway, the age, anybody can contribute a point.
Yeah.
And if it's old, we'll do it for research. But that's basically what we do. We could use a fundraiser, is what we could use. But the 20 people, not like Tony, but they'll raise money anytime. That reminds me, where do I get my sub? Where do I get my sub from the Ducks?
Oh. Okay. Well, thank you.
I will test this. I've been to his parties many times, when we used to meet together, both clubs. And the Christmas party brings tears even to men's eyes.
They what?
Even to men's eyes, it brings tears.
Oh,
So
yeah,
they do it tears.
nice,
Thanks, Randy.
nice. That's very good. I didn't know you did. Lady next to Kathy.
No.
What-
The lady next to Kathy.
Yeah, what's your name?
I'm Katie Calloway.
Okay,
With Centerville New Optimist.
okay, terrific, okay.
All right, so yeah, as I said, I'm Katie Calloway. I'm here on behalf of Centerville New Optimist. Our club has been around since 1968, and our mission, our slogan is a friend of youth. So everything that we do is about serving the youth in our community. We provide free children's events. So we have like a fishing derby. We do TriStar basketball, TriStar soccer, skills practices. We do, I can't even begin to name all of the many different types of events that we do throughout the year. We have essay contests, oratorical contests, photography contests. We provide a number of scholarships every year to, again, just youth in the Centerville and surrounding area. Let's see here, number of members, we have around 320 at this point. We're, you know,
Active.
we active, there's probably 50 plus of us that are more active.
Yeah.
You know, I think like everybody,
Yeah.
you have a lot of people that aren't as actively involved, but we get probably close to 100 at lunch every week. So, you know, we're
You
doing a
meet
lot
every week.
we meet every week. So Centerville Noon Optimist. So we used to have our meetings at noon on Tuesdays. It's now 11:45 because we do a buffet, and so we get there a little early and do all of that. We meet at the Yankee Trace Golf Club in Centerville. And in addition to our weekly noon meeting, we also meet on the third Thursday of every month at 5:30 at various locations around Centerville. We started a club several years back called Optimist 2.0, and that the idea being, you know, meeting at noon on a Tuesday isn't always conducive to everyone's schedule. So now we have an evening meeting so that, you know, teachers and professionals and things that can't get away during the workday are able to meet with us on those Thursday meetings as well. Annual events, I kind of talked about that a little bit. I'm most proud of our Safetyville Square because I chaired it this last year. That was a new one that we just took on. And so
What was it?
Safetyville Square. So kids come to us for 4 mornings during the summer, and they learn about traffic safety, pedestrian safety, water safety. They spend time with police and fire and sheriffs, and it's just a really cool program. We actually kind of inherited the program from the Centerville Evening Optimists, and but I chaired it this last year, and it's so rewarding to watch these kids. They have a little graduation at the end of the week. It's very fun. But yeah, lots of good events. As far as recruiting new members, it's kind of word of mouth. We just have people out networking, and we have one member in particular who I think is coming up on his 100th person that he has brought into the club, which is amazing.
Wow.
What's that?
Is that Mike?
That is Mike Beavis, yeah. Yeah, yeah, he is. So yeah, I think that kind of covers Centerville New Optimist.
You also.
Very
do the
nice.
Park at Washington Rec Center. That's a beautiful park.
Yes, yeah, and actually we just had the haunted trail there last week at the rec center, and so that's another event. We do, I didn't mention, we do 3 fundraisers in the year. We do the Avenue of Flags, where people pay for a subscription. We put flags out on the big flag holidays throughout the year at their home or business. We do a tree lot in Centerville, and we have a golf outing every summer. So those are kind of 3 big fundraisers.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
3 minutes person, so we can get more people.
Okay, 3 minutes. Tony's changed it. Ted Greenwood.
To get more people.
Yeah, we gotta get it.
good afternoon. I'm Ted Greenwood from the Dayton Exchange Club. We celebrated our 100th anniversary a few years ago, so it's been around a long time. Our motto is unity for service. Yeah, unity in service, I guess is it. And we just tried to look for needs in the community and address them where we can. We have about 30 members, maybe a little less, but it's like everybody else, 12, 15 that really are active and do things. I wanted to take a moment to tell you about a project that we're working on right now. I have a flyer and a little info if anybody needs any. But on November 11th, which of course is Veterans Day, we're going to have a Pinewood Derby type race. If you had kids in Cub Scouts or anything, you may have seen these before. And each of the, we have a car representing each branch of the service. And we're going to go through various heats, somehow get people eliminated and get to a winner eventually. There'll be prizes for people who are selected on each heat, and then the grand prize is really a 50-50 drawing. Half of the money that we gather is going to go to the winner. The reason for having this, it's called Veterans Matter. I don't know if you ever heard of that. It's an organization. The Veterans Administration, of course, works with veterans, and they have a program often referred to as VASH, which I think is VA supported housing. Not 100% positive about that. But as they're working with veterans to try to get, and these are unhoused veterans. We don't like homeless right now, we're unhoused veterans. So they're working to get them into permanent housing. And the VA will pay rent and do what it takes to get them in, but they don't have a way to get their security deposit. And that's where Veterans Matter comes in. They work with VA caseworkers and will make that happen very quickly to help speed that process up. So in the interest of time, I'll let it go at that.
If you pass those out around the table.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have 6 here. And so,
Each table they can make copies.
yeah, okay. Here, I'll put.
That didn't make our newsletter.
Yes,
No.
I did. I had
You
it put in.
did?
Yeah.
Okay,
After it was done, I had it added, and I added it.
okay. So it's so important to read our newsletters. And if you're having an event, get it to Tony before the 1st so that it can be, even though it might come out on the 2nd or 3rd, and that's my fault. But anyway, get it to Tony so that we can put it in the newsletter and it'll go out to all of the organizations.
I can't stress enough that all member organizations, if you get it to me, I will make sure it gets on the newsletter, even if I have to edit myself. Right?
Okay,
That way, everybody has a chance to pass it on to the membership.
Let me just throw one more thing out. If you want to buy a ticket to this event, I have 100 or so here. $10 each, 3 for $25.
okay,
When is it? What's the date?
On Saturday, the 11th, Veterans Day. So it's coming up pretty soon.
yeah, okay.
It's going to be at the Masonic Center.
Oh, yeah, I saw that at the Masonic.
Info is in the stuff we have here.
Okay.
We're looking for help selling
Joyce.
tickets.
You got 3 minutes.
This will ring me. Hey, Joyce, this will ring me when your 3 minutes is. Do we have a crowbar or?
Hi, I'm Joyce Reed Kasperzak, and I'm the Executive Director of Children's Historical Publishing. We're an organization that is 21 years old. And our purpose is probably to consolidate all of your purposes with these clubs. What our goal is to inform the youth of today about where they've come from, what is important, and what they should be doing. And before you can get volunteers, before you can get anybody to do anything, it has to start up here and in the heart. And if we don't reach that spot, then nothing happens. And so our goal was to go out, put together topics that we call underserved topics in our area, and create books and then donate them to the schools with teacher guides. Things that aren't normally taught in the schools, or it's so crowded with their schedules now, nobody has time, so on and so forth. We've done a variety of books. It's kind of interesting, as I was listening, one of our first books was called Lunceon. Our very first books were about aerospace. And we did a whole set of books for 5 years for the Dayton Air Show to encourage kids to go to look into these kind of professions, but also to put the word in their parents' brain about what's going on here. Our hope was when we donate these books into the classrooms, each child receives a book. The teacher has to teach it, but the book is theirs. Our first, I was just thinking about that, it didn't click at me. Our first board president was Tom Roberts, and he was our president for about 6 years. Our second board president is Judge Walter Rice. So I have a pretty good support team there with people that care about the community. And the topics that we do are things, again, that we call underserved. We did a book called The Curveball. We went out to Kansas City and did a book on the Negro League baseball team and the history there, and came home saying that the history of entrepreneurship should really be taught through the Negro League baseball team, because when they weren't allowed to attend because of color, restaurants, barbershops, hotels, they didn't have to build their own. And so that was a way of survival, and to understand and applaud those things. Also, we were very fortunate. We've had lots of people in the community donate a lot of things. We had a local artist who was with Ben Davis. These are all hand drawings that he flew out to Kansas City and came back. And what are we trying to do with this book? We're trying to broaden what people think about. We did a book on this club called The Empowered Women, and to talk about the history of the Women's Club and what it stood for and what it should stand for, and how women need to support this building because it was started in 1916, and things have progressed quite a lot since then. But it's still important to know what these walls did and who were in these walls. We did one of our, I guess, next to the last books were Ohio Women in the Military. And we took all of the women that are in the Ohio Hall of Fame and honored them. And they told stories about what they had to go through being in the military. One of our speakers, who was a colonel, she ended up being a lawyer and a judge. When she signed up for the military, she had to sign a paper in 1971 saying that if she had children, married or not, she had to quit the military or give them up for adoption. That's what women had to do, what women had to go through. Is it time?
Yeah.
Okay, Tony.
Thank you very much.
But our latest, give me 2 seconds. Our latest program is Lincoln Servant Leadership. And I just came from another meeting and I didn't know I was going to do this, so I don't have the leadership books here. But this book is all about Lincoln servant leadership, and we are trying to teach servant leadership. It is a leadership guide. To date, we've donated over 5,000 of these books into the schools with teacher guides. We're getting ready to do a fundraiser November 15th, where Dr. Spina from the University of Dayton will be one of our speakers. The Marianist philosophy is that of servant leadership. Your philosophy is we're all begging for the same thing. There's not one person here I wouldn't want to donate money to. And we know we can't do it all. But we're all saying the same message. We need to help and make a difference. But we need to help and make a difference for those that are coming up to try to keep them interested and passionate and respectful of their areas. And so on November 15th, we're doing a fundraiser here called Servant Leadership. Dr. Stina, Tom Roberts are our speakers. The author of the book is our speaker, and everybody's welcome to come. And we're real proud of the fact that we have donated 600,000 books to all the local area schools. And I thank you, and I'm sorry I went over. No, no.
Very good. It's already 1 o'clock.
Oh, it is.
Yes. May I suggest, I like the format we did. Does everybody like this format?
Yes.
I think we should continue on with the next meeting
Yeah.
and have the rest of the clubs that haven't spoken, and maybe additional clubs that come, do the same thing.
Okay, we can do that.
What do you think? Sure.
Yes.
Well,
Great.
I would just like to bring up just the one little thing on Altrusa Club of Dayton. We're having our major fundraiser in a week and a half. So November won't work for us. But I mean, if anyone is interested.
Anybody else have a fundraiser going on?
Yeah.
They do.
Oh, sorry, please.
Basically, Altrusa of Dayton is 106 years old. We were founded in 1917. The Dayton Club was the second club founded, third charter of Altrusa. And our main focus is building better communities with the main emphasis on literacy. And Tony was kind enough to put our flyer in the newsletter. We're having our major fundraiser on October 28th at the Presidential Banquet Center. It is a luncheon and auction. We have a nice luncheon buffet, Presidential Banquet Center. You can't beat their food with Kohler Catering. They're phenomenal. We have a live auction, silent auction, a bake sale, jewelry sale, variety of other things. So, and then I'll talk more about Altrusa next meeting.
Okay, thank
We
you.
also have raffle tickets, or if you want a ticket to attend, I have those available. Thank you, Twin Tigs, for supporting us.
Thank you, and I will support that. We have one more fundraiser going on right now.
What's that?
It's, remember there are 60,000.
Oh, the read.
Yeah, there are 60,000 veterans who were laid to rest at the Dayton National Cemetery.
My dad.
And cemetery needs wreaths for the soldiers. Okay, men and women who have passed away. And Civitan, this is our first fundraiser that we're doing. And everyone who purchases a wreath, they will have an honor wreath going to one of the veterans out there. The deadline is November 18th. If your purchase of a wreath happens after that, it goes to next year. So these are the flyers. All you have to do is scan the barcode, and then it takes you right to the website, and you can lay a wreath on it. Thank you.
Dr. Forward, do you have room still for
yeah.
people to attend?
Possibly. Okay.
You can't go through that whole list.
No.
You have to come back next month.
Trust me, I look forward to coming back next month.
Okay.
So don't down, Dr. Derek Ford, president of the Dayton NAACP. What I have with me is our check for the President's Club of Dayton Luncheon that we participated in our $100 membership that I hand to you as the president.
Thank
So,
you.
so
Thank you.
there's 2 checks for you right there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
So I like to come here and gifts. So I look forward to speaking with everyone next month, telling you a little bit about the NAACP, but just one item. Next Friday is the date, it's the 72nd Dayton NAACP Hall of Freedom Awards. So it's the largest gathering of any organization in Montgomery County, Ohio. Normally about 1,200 people attend this event. It takes place at the Dayton Convention Center, and we look forward to honoring a lot of Daytonians at that particular event. And there'll be more to come, probably early next week regarding a few of the awardees that we're going to announce early. So with that, look forward to seeing you. The tickets are $100 if you're interested in coming. I don't know how many tables or seats we have left, but it's a very diverse group that come to this particular event. We look forward to your attendance. Thanks.
Normally every year on Thanksgiving Day, the Circle of Vision Keepers and the Kids give out hats, scarves, gloves, things for the children, and we've given out thousands on that day. But now the convention center is no longer hosting that dinner that they normally have. So what I'm asking, because we will be getting stuff in, and I already have something like 1,500, hat scarves and gloves set. If any of the clubs or agencies are interested, just call me, I'll get Tony my number, and I'll put it in, and, because it's also said, they're already prepackaged, and they're really prepackaged for homeless people, but they fit children too. This gloves has brand new quality, and then it has the thing for when people are outside, whatever it is. But I just want you to know, just to contact us and, and we can make arrangements for you to buy, get that out of our garage.
Just a suggestion, that'd be great to take a whole bunch to each of the club meetings and hand it to them so they can distribute it.
Sure. Yeah, somebody want to come around and bag them up.
Deja, have you thought about reaching out to Miami Valley Meals?
I've reached out to the House of Bread,
Oh,
places
East End
like that.
Community Center.
I'm gonna be getting a hold of Jan, as well.
But
All these
somebody-
people, I've reached out to Sober Homes, all that kind of stuff, but I still have stuff.
Okay.
So I'm just letting you know.
I'm on the board there at East End.
Okay, well, tell Jan, well, you call.
They were supposed to have somebody.
Okay. you call.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
Margaret?
thank you. Margaret, thank you for allowing us to be here. You want to say something
Just
quickly?
briefly, I know you guys have been sitting so long.
This is the queen of the house.
In other words, I'm the chief cook and bottle washer. But the thing is, I just wanted to say that we have some things that you've been experiencing, and if you can dispel myths, that's my charge to everyone here. I hope you're enjoying yourself. We're in transformation, and in 2017, we switched to be a 501c3 nonprofit. So with that, some memberships didn't go along with that, and so now we have sponsoring members. But I can tell you, if you could at least support us in some ways, you can see that I feel like little Chicken Little sometimes in this house, because like if anything could go wrong in a house that was built in 1850, that's one thing. And then also it's in 3 segments at different levels. So I got one from 1918 out in the dining room. This ballroom is 1955. But the thing is, it has so much to give to the community in the way of meeting space as a professional networking area, and also to help growth of young youth to use this. So I just want to let you know, thanks to Children's Historical Publishing, we actually have story about the house. They are featuring their fundraiser here November 15th. Also, if you know Mr. Harmon, he's having his fundraiser here this coming Saturday. So if you see the little cards, please come to their fundraisers. And then our fundraiser this year, actually, women have never had to do this, but we are doing it now because I need an ice machine. You can see the tiles are leaking and a lot of plumbing issues around this place. But the thing is that we're going to have a Christmas open house tours this year. Many people tell me if they come for the first time, they never knew this place existed. And to me, heritage heals. And it gives us roots, and it gives us, we're one of the few original buildings that wasn't wiped out by the flood. And the little girls that are coming this coming Sunday that are going to learn business etiquette skills 101, some of our members have a scholarship fund that we can actually allow the Girl Scouts and other groups that would like to have, they call it just manners, but then you need to know how to navigate, some formal situations, especially if you're going to be in career development and getting interviewed. So that's what we're doing this coming Sunday. And if you look, I did have something on the table. We have events open to the public. Please come and use us and enjoy us. And our biggest fundraiser,
news, guys, and I'm not gonna be in town for this, but, it's going to be a New Year's Eve party here. We know that, you know, Dayton Art Institute's charging $250 and arcade, ours is just $150. And so if you wanna come and have a good time, but, as I say, if only these walls could talk, and our, one lady I learned a little bit about at the Ohio Heritage Conference that was just held here in Dayton was that one of our founding members, her name was Julia Patterson Shaw Cornell, who actually is why we have a Dayton Art Institute. And she also, I think, co-founded the NAACP. There's a lot of wonderful things of the legacies that women leaders have had here in Dayton. So my mantra is to you all, we're trying to help preserve the best of the past with your help, because we need, by improving the present, now, what can we do now for you? So we have the American Business Women's Association coming here on December 12th with vendors and everything to support that. So to really to go after, have fun, but learn. And so we have some programs coming up. Please just look at our website. And why do we do this? I think we all want to have, leave us behind a better future for people to follow. Thank you. And if anybody wants Mr. Harmon, he's the one that's coming up now. I'll give, so.
Reggie Harmon, he's a saxophonist and artist.
You have any more?
He's doing an art exhibition. Is that right?
Huh?
Is he doing the art exhibition? And he'll perform. He's really talented.
And if you wanna get
This
out of
was-
town, our lunch and learn is coming Wednesday, the 25th, is what you need to have in your suitcase.
Okay, that's interesting. So this was really fun. And does everybody agree we need to continue, because we did not get to talk to everyone that was here, and hopefully next time we'll have more people. I really appreciate your memberships. I really appreciate everyone coming the third Wednesday of every month. And please encourage your friends who are in other organizations to come and be represented, and to come and talk and let us know who you are and what you do, because it's just really insightful and it's really important. And I've always said everything that we do is vital to the community, and you really prove it by letting us know the things that you accomplish on an annual basis. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next month. And if anyone has any suggestions, email me at president@presidentsclubdayton.org. Thank you.
If anybody has a paper